Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here to give you guys my WWE Smackdown review for September 25th, 2018. And we had Corey Graves, Tom Phillips, and Byron Saxton on commentary for this show. And I do gotta say, I thought Smackdown was a really good show. It's mainly based off the last segment, but the last segment really made Smackdown. So let's just start off by talking about it. We had Miz TV, or so we thought. It was actually not Miz TV. It ended up being Truth TV. We had the Fabulous Truth in the ring, which is RTruth and Carmella. They're going to be partners in the Mixed Match Challenge, so I kind of thought this was a nice way to tie into that. And pretty much RTruth stole Miz's show. And, RTruth was talking about how he was happy to host this show, and he brings out his very first guest ever on Truth TV, Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan comes out, and RTruth gets a list of cue cards in to ask questions, and he asked Daniel Bryan how he feels going into his WWE Championship match against The Miz. His WWE Championship #1 Contenders match against The Miz at WWE Super Showdown. But before Daniel Bryan answers the question, Carmella says, "Hold on, we got to take a 7-second dance off, or dance session, dance break." That's what he said, dance break. And Daniel Bryan even said that he thought this was better than being on Miz TV. But when the Fabulous Truth took their dance break, Daniel Bryan, you could just tell, was dying, and he's like, "This is definitely better than Miz TV." And then Daniel Bryan gets serious, says that because RTruth said a word that he didn't know, and Daniel Bryan explained it to him, saying that he fought courageously to get back into a WWE ring because he wants to be the top guy. He wants to be the WWE champion, and he says that he's going to beat The Miz at Super Showdown, and he's going to beat him fair and square. And then RTruth starts talking about how he's going to bring animals to the Truth TV, and they take RTruth and Carmella are just having fun, and then The Miz interrupts him, and The Miz says that The Miz just is appalled that RTruth took his TV show from him, and he said that this is his TV show, and how Miz TV is the most must-see WWE talk show in WWE history. And I liked what he said about Daniel Bryan. He says that the reason that everybody loves Daniel Bryan is because he always tries to do the right thing. He never cheats to win any of his matches. He always tries to do the right thing like a good underdog. But that hasn't really gotten you anywhere because you haven't been able to beat me. Because it doesn't matter how I beat you. I may not be technically a better wrestler than you, but I'm a smarter wrestler than you. And then RTruth gets in Miz's face and says that he's not going to have any of this on Truth TV. And now you've ruined the chances of animals coming on the show. And The Miz says that this isn't even his show, and you're just an idiot. And he said, RTruth says he may be an idiot, but I know that 2 weeks ago I beat you, and normally when I beat somebody, you get a title match. But since you don't have any championships, I figured getting my own talk show was the next best thing. But if you want your talk show back, come fight me for it. And The Miz isn't interested in doing this because he thinks it's stupid, so he walks backstage. And during this, the Fabulous Truth did their dance break, and The Miz runs into Paige backstage, and The Miz is just appalled that RTruth took his TV show from him. So Paige just tells him, "Go fight back and earn your TV show back." So that's what Miz does. I kind of liked that segment of it because it kind of made the show. It kind of made the show feel a little bit organic. So I liked that Miz just went right backstage and Paige was just right there. So I kind of liked it. And we had the match. It was The Miz versus RTruth with Carmella inside, and Daniel Bryan was doing guest commentary for this match. I thought Daniel Bryan did really well on commentary. I thought him and Corey Graves back and forth going off about the Miz, and when he talked about the when the Miz did the it kicks, Daniel Bryan even acknowledged saying, "No, these aren't the it kicks," and he criticized how Miz was doing it and how Corey Graves has no sense of time. But pretty much the finish is that the Miz thumbs RTruth in the eye, lays him out with a skull crushing finale, but he doesn't pin him. He looks right at Daniel Bryan and lays him out with the running knee, which is Daniel Bryan's finisher. So Miz used Daniel Bryan's finisher to beat RTruth right in front of him. And Daniel Bryan goes to run in the ring, but the Miz escapes before he can attack him. So I thought this all was done really well. I thought the Truth TV thing was entertaining. I liked the Miz Truth match, and I liked the way they built to the Miz Daniel Bryan match at Super Showdown. So I liked this stuff. I'm going to give it an up. And then we had Charlotte Flair's photo shoot, and Becky Lynch just comes in and beats the shit out of Charlotte Flair. And I don't like any of this. I don't like that Becky Lynch is a heel, so this gets it down. And then we had Sheamus with Cesaro versus Big E with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. This was to build up to the SmackDown Tag Team title match these two teams are going to have against each other at Super Showdown. And before the match starts, the New Day come out and cut a promo, and they talk about how they're going to start to take the Bar seriously because the Bar is a serious tag team, and last week Cesaro beat Kofi Kingston. So they pretty much says they're going to use, they're only going to say nice things about the Bar, but essentially they're still putting them down. And the Bar grabs the mic and says they're just a bunch of jokes. And then we had the match. I thought they had a pretty good match right here. Yeah, I just thought it was pretty good. Big E hits Yoanagi out of the corner. Sheamus hits a really cool Celtic Cross. Big E went for the spear. Sheamus hit a knee to the head. Big E had a ton of belly-to-bellies on Sheamus. I just thought it was a pretty good matchup. Big E went for the big ending. Sheamus fought out of it. And then Sheamus ended up hitting the bro kick on Big E for the win. So I liked this. I like the fact that the Bar won. And they're looking really strong going into Super Showdown. So this gets an up. And then Paige is backstage, and she doesn't want any chaos to go down tonight for the WWE Championship contract signing between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. So AJ says that if Samoa Joe doesn't tempt him, he won't do anything to him. So I like this segment getting it up. And then Lana's backstage, and Rusev wants to know why Aiden English attacked him. We pretty much know why, because WWE doesn't want this team together, but whatever. I didn't like this getting it down because I don't like the context of it. So then next we have Rusev wanted answers from Aiden English, so he calls out Aiden English, and Aiden English comes out and pretty much says that he's the reason Rusev Day got over to begin with, because he started Rusev Day, and if you think about it, a year ago from tomorrow, it was the birth of Rusev Day, baby. So there you go. Happy Rusev Day. And they talk about how they leapt to unbelievable heights until Lana got involved. And he shows video clips of Lana just messing everything up. But then he says that, but then Lana talks about how all Aiden English was a cheerleader. Lana actually made Rusev a dominant Bulgarian brute who was undefeated and became out on a tank at WrestleMania 31. And Aiden English says that Lana's been a supportive wife and has never lied to Rusev, but does he know about that night in Milwaukee? And then that was the segment. So that's going to lead us to next week. I'm still giving this a down, though, because Rusev Day shouldn't be broken up. I don't like this at all. But I will say, at least in this feud, Aiden English is getting booed and Rusev's getting cheered. I also want to give the crowd an up. It feels like the crowd was just having fun in this show. They kept chanting Milwaukee, which was kind of annoying, but I do like when the crowd at wrestling shows are having fun, and this crowd just seemed like they were having fun, so I'm going to give this crowd an up. And then we had, yes, this is a real tag team name, the Empress and the Glow versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville with the Iconics on commentary. This was set up because they had a backstage segment earlier in the day, but the Empress and the Glow won when Asuka got the Asuka lock on, I think, Mandy Rose, and she tapped out for the win. I think that was the finish. I don't really remember. I don't really care. So it just gets it down because they've been using Asuka like shit. Then we had Ty Dillinger versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura dominates Ty Dillinger in the beginning, and then Ty Dillinger starts him out a comeback, and he beats him. He's doing the 10 counts in the corner, the 10 punches in the corner that you typically see in a wrestling match where they punch you guy in the corner. But Randy Orton comes out, and he attacks Ty Dillinger. I noticed, too, that Randy Orton attacks all of the opponents that Shinsuke Nakamura happens to be facing or feuding with. I wonder if that means they're going to have some sort of alliance or something. But he beats the shit out of Ty Dillinger, throws him shoulder first into the post, throws him over the announcer's table, hits a back suplex on the table, beats the shit out of him in the ring, does the Orton stomps, and then he does the draping DDT off the apron onto the floor. And I thought this kicked so much ass. I loved it. Getting it up. What I am going to give... And then afterwards, Shinsuke Nakamura hits the King Sasha, which sets Ty Dillinger head first into the LAD board. What I am going to give it down is that it seems like WWE has no plans for Shinsuke Nakamura, and his heel turn's just been a flop. It's not that he's a bad heel, but it just doesn't seem like they've been doing anything with him, and it feels like he's just been kind of a pretty useless United States champion, so that gets it down. And I have Samoa Joe interview written down. I don't know what that means, but we're going to get more into that, why it's weird. Lana's backstage again, though, and Rusev, I forgot to mention this, the whole storyline throughout the rest of the show was Rusev questioning what Aiden English was talking about when he said Milwaukee, so there's kind of some dissension going on in the marriage because Rusev doesn't believe Lana that nothing happened, so I don't know what's going on there. So I'm going to give that stuff a down. And Becky Lynch had come up and talked shit to Lana, and it led to a match. And we had the match. I didn't really pay that much attention because I was trying to get Mixed Match Challenge up on my phone. But it wasn't bad, I guess. I don't know. I just don't really care. At least Becky Lynch, I guess, came off it like a heel, but whatever. Becky Lynch got her when they did Disarmor for the win. I'm just going to give this a down because I didn't give a shit. Then we had the WWE Championship contract signing between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. You think this is just going to be a normal contract signing, but when it's Samoa Joe's turn to come out, Samoa Joe pops up on the Titantron. And I think you saw him on his cell phone on the Titantron just outside. You knew exactly where this was going. Pretty much what happens is Samoa Joe went to AJ Styles' house. He said he did this because AJ Styles has been robbing him out of the WWE Championship, and he should have been a good dad. And he talks about how his actions are going to have consequences. And he points out the white picket fence. And I just can't do this justice. You need to check this out because Samoa Joe was a badass right here. Samoa Joe sits down on his deck and says, I bet you knew this night was coming eventually. But I just got you when you least expected it. And AJ Styles is just pleading with Samoa Joe to leave the property. Samoa Joe even brought up that you could call your wife and tell her that I'm here. But I bet you don't even have your cell phone with you. You left it backstage in the locker room. And Samoa Joe says, I could just go right in, but I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to win the doorbell. And he does. And then he says, and the SmackDown ends with him saying, Daddy's home. And then that was the end of SmackDown. I thought this kicked so much ass. I thought ruled. I thought this was awesome. And it really adds more drama going into the WWE Championship match at Super Showdown. I really hope, and I don't think he's going to, but I really hope Samoa Joe becomes the WWE Champion because he deserves that damn title right now. This storyline's been awesome, and I've really enjoyed it. This was great. Fantastic stuff, getting it up. And that's why SmackDown is getting a B-. It was a good show. I overrated the show because of the main event segment, but this main event segment really made SmackDown this week. It probably would have just gotten a C+, but there was other stuff I liked on it. I liked the Randy Orton beatdown, and I forgot to mention he has an interview later on where Mike Rome, who was interviewing him, questions if that was Ty Dillinger was Randy Orton's next victim, and Randy Orton says that he just really doesn't like the 10 chance, so he just went and beat the shit out of him. So I like that. Gets it up. But I like the Randy Orton stuff. I liked the opening segment with The Miz and Daniel Bryan and the Truth TV segment. I liked there was something else I liked on this show. I like Sheamus versus Big E. Everything else, I thought the stuff in the middle kind of sucked. Nakamura not really being featured that much, and I didn't really care for the Rusev Aided English storyline, and the women's angles, which is not that big a surprise because you guys know I don't like this Becky Charlotte Flair feud, and you guys know I don't like how Asuka's being used. So, yeah. But I gotta say though, that WWE Championship contract signing just really brought up the show. And the first half of SmackDown was, the Truth TV segment. So, that Truth TV segment, whoever pieced that together deserves a pay raise because that was awesome. So I'm going to give SmackDown a B-. I thought it was a good show. SmackDown consistently just delivers every week. Raw should take notes. Maybe don't put the Shield back together, but whatever. That's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please make sure you guys like, comment, and share this video so people will watch it. Make sure you guys subscribe to this channel for more content and click on the bell so that way every time I upload a video, you guys will get the notifications for it. Make sure you guys do the same thing for my CM Brothers and Owen the Talking 80 YouTube channels. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.